For anyone who is thinking of going to Canada, I want you guys to take this very, very seriously. Take a look at this as 3 schools, which were actually schools in Quebec, Canada, have scammed hundreds of students who wanted to do their master's, bachelor's, or PhD in Canada. And now what they're doing is essentially the students have to go onto the courts and they have to try to get their money back because they've already paid the tuition, and these schools are now shutting down, or they're not letting these students attend these programs as well. So the whole reason over here, why did this happen? How can you stop this from happening in your case? It is very important to understand because it can happen to any single one of you guys out there. And that's what this video is about. This is about saving you from schemes like this. So let me actually tell you what the exact story was first off. So as you can see, thousands of Indian students were left in lurch after 3 Canadian colleges shut down abruptly after collecting millions of dollars in tuition fee. Okay, and basically now they're dealing with the Indian High Commission in Ottawa, and they're basically issuing advisory boards, etc., etc. Whatever is going on, really, you can take a look at this over here. But the college names right here are important: M College, CDE College, and CCSQ College. These are the 3 colleges which have done that to students. Now, you would ask me, how do you actually avoid these colleges? First off, take a look at exactly what they do. Okay, when the deadlines come in, they push up the deadlines for the tuition fee. They say, okay, we'll give you this much time, we'll give you 1 more month, etc., etc. You pay the money first, right? Then you pay the money, you go to Canada, right? And what happens is these students actually paid up hefty sums upfront before actually attending school either, right? And then they issued a notice to the students earlier this month that basically they were closing the school altogether. The school is closing. How big a scam is that? Thousands of students who actually wanted to put that money into their education, right? It's not a small amount. It's an amount that people spend a lifetime saving. It's an amount that people have taken loans for from the bank to pay these colleges. How do these students continue their education when these colleges are shutting down? They're not returning the money, they're declaring bankruptcy. And the major important portion over here is how did these students actually get to this university? They went through consulting firms. And consulting firms like this one, RPI, Rising Phoenix International, which has also, by the way, filed for bankruptcy, is responsible for this. How do you actually make sure you don't go ahead with schemes like these? First off, verify which person you're working with. Verify the consultancy, because again, you guys are basically just going and spending money wherever you get the cheapest deal. Well, this is what happens. This is what happens. They have robbed these students of so much money that they would probably have to spend their lives working to actually get this money back. And their education is already on a halt, so they can't really do much over there as long as they get their money back, which of course is not going to be easy, as you already know now, because apparently the money doesn't exist. So how do these schools even return the money to these students, right? And secondly, on top of that, these colleges, these are not reputable colleges. You guys should be aware of this. Don't apply to just any college. If your GPA is low, if your work X is low, if your research X is low, I don't care, whatever it is, if your IELTS score is super low, just because these colleges are offering a low GPA, a low IELTS acceptance, whatever it is, you don't have to flock to these schools, essentially because they're not reputable. How do you know if they're not reputable? You go on to YMGrad.com, you select the country name as Canada if you want to go to Canada, and you see these colleges right here. These are the only ones which you should be applying to. These are the reputable ones. In fact, if you search for names like CDE College over here, we wouldn't even have that, just because those are not reputable enough for you to actually go ahead and apply. Alright, so unless you know exactly what you are doing, you should probably take a look at this and avoid getting into that trap. In fact, what you can do is you can also go into the official Canada website. You don't want to do it from this website, no problem. You go to the official Canada website and you select which college are you looking into, right? And you basically go for CDE College. Well, is this offering a PGWP eligible program? The answer is not exactly. It's basically based on some conditions. So they have given the details over here, right? In fact, when you take a look at most colleges, which are reputable colleges at least, they will straight away tell you that yes, we are offering this thing to you. PGWP is offered. You can basically work after the program. For instance, if you want to take a look at McGill University, which of course we all know is very reputable, it'll tell you straight away, yes, it is offering a PGWP. It won't say details are here, you have these TNC based on which you will be given your PGWP. It doesn't make sense at all. And Quebec is one of the places we actually tell students to avoid unless they know what they're doing, right? So all of this information, again, if you don't have this information, go ahead, talk to someone who knows. You can talk to us, we don't mind actually helping you out on this. But the only part over here is go for reputable universities. If you have a low GPA, etc., etc., select universities with a high acceptance rate, right? And you can actually scroll down, and you can find universities which are actually not even that great, but they'll still be good enough as long as they're available on this page. So that's the only thing I wanted to clarify. Right? Don't go to consultancies. You don't really know what you're doing about. They're here for maybe 1 year. They just started, and they're basically just so new in the market. You can't even trust them for the most part, right? Because they don't have enough skin in the game. Having enough skin in the game is basically they should care about their reputation, right? If you actually search this name right here, they would still have an Instagram. They would still have things like their Twitter, etc., etc. And you can actually go ahead and you can see they have filed for what do you call it, bankruptcy, right? So again, they're also saying that, hey, look, we don't really have any money. And these are the people who actually tied up with these universities, sent those students to the universities, and are basically sharing that money with students paid. So you can see that they already have all of these news websites coming in, etc., etc. But last time I checked, when this news came out, really 2 days back, they actually had their whole Instagram page and everything up. I'm not quite sure if they still have it, but so beware of basically consulting firms, etc., 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 that you don't really know enough about, that don't have enough skin. You see over here, right? They already have everything over here. So it may look real, but it isn't always real. So make sure to do your due diligence. It's very, very important. And of course, from colleges, etc., I think that's something that these students should have at least cared about themselves, because what consulting firms do is they would actually force you to apply to these and these universities only, right? And they would say, look, the applications are free if you do them from us, so we don't really charge you, but you have to apply over here. So what that does is basically they still have to make money, right? They still have to earn revenue. So what they will do is they'll send your application to colleges like these. Colleges like these will accept you. They will take the tuition fee. They will share the tuition fee between the consultancy and themselves, and then this happens. So instead, go for someone who's asking for money in that case, right? If the consultant is asking for money and he's not taking money from the universities, that's actually much, much better. Simply because they would at least not be pushing you towards universities like these. Make sure whenever you're working with someone, the one TNC you should have is you would only apply to universities that you want and not the ones that they want. Okay? I mean, yes, there can be some overlap, but don't get forced into applying to only those universities, because these I'm pretty sure you would have never heard their names, and that should be signal enough for you guys to actually have this red alert on that, okay, you should probably not be going to these universities, right? So again, very, very important, guys. Now these students are they're actually after the government at this point of time, that help us get the money back. But again, you already know that their education is on a halt right now, so it's probably most of these students probably not gonna go on and study in Canada after this. I'm pretty sure about that. So the experience for them is ruined, while all of this could have been avoided by just a little bit of due diligence, just a little bit of research, just a little bit of hard work, right? So I hope that you understand exactly what is going on over here. I wish you all the best, and I hope that this does not happen with any single one of you guys, or even your friends. Please share this, let the people know exactly what is going on. If you want more information like this, we do videos on every single topic that comes in based on study abroad. You can subscribe to this channel, and we would be more than happy to have you over here. I look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Goodbye and take care for now.